Hi, welcome back to another exciting installment of the Athena Protocol. We are on chapter 4, page 54. The next morning, the house has that awful, empty, echoey feel to it. Last night, I had wanted to tell Kit not to go to Belgrade because it's dangerous what she's doing, and also, if I'm being honest, because I didn't want to wake up alone. But I won't tell her stuff like that anymore. I did when I was younger. I remember being about 9 or 10 and begging her, literally begging her, not to go away. She was off on a tour to the States. And why I remember it so well is that she didn't even seem to feel bad about it. She just hugged me and then peeled me off her, sort of irritated, like she was worried I would crush her clothes. She told me I would get used to it, and she just went. The door closed, and there was only silence for 4 months. I flick on the TV to break the quiet now. Jake Graham's on again, this time with a story about a girl in Syria who's been brought here for medical treatment. I look at this kid, probably 12 years old, who's made it through years of war and is fighting to stay alive, and I feel like a brat for whining about waking up alone in this massive rock star house. I jiggle my laptop mouse to wake it up, and while it kicks into gear, I head into the bathroom and go over what I know of the Athena plan. A car came to collect Kit for the airport at 6 a.m. Apparently, Gregory's chartered a private jet to fly his guest performer to Belgrade. Caitlin, who's posing as Kit's security, will be flying with her. Peggy leaves later this morning, probably slumming it in a normal airline's business class cabin. Hala will have already landed in Belgrade, and is even now probably meeting one of Lee's contacts to arrange weapons on the ground. Kit and Peggy will stay in a rented house with Caitlin, having declined Gregory's offer to arrange accommodation. The last thing they need is a mansion with security and surveillance arranged by the thug they are trying to bring to justice. Hala will most likely be put into a room or apartment somewhere else, though she will take some time to sweep the place where Kit is staying for bugs. She'll also jam the security camera feeds, if there are any, and kill any cell phone signals inside the house. She's good at that stuff. Very diligent. Doesn't leave any openings or vulnerabilities, which is more important now than ever. Until now, none of the Athena founders has come near us on a mission. No sense in making connections between us all if we don't have to, but I suppose this job is the exception. In the kitchen, I consult my diet sheet out of habit and scramble a couple of eggs for breakfast, washing them down with coffee. By the time I go back up to my room and settle in front of the laptop, it's not quite 8 a.m. The first thing I notice is that my code has yielded something significantly new. Gregory's financial and corporate network is in the Balkans. Maybe once he dabbled in Ukraine, but now 2 of his newest shell companies show money coming in from Moscow, and both these companies are registered to a particular art gallery in Belgrade. Now, Athena knows about this gallery. It's run by Gregory's daughter, Paulina, but I don't think anyone made the connection with these shell companies before. My fingers fly over the keys and bring up a photograph of a young woman. A girl, really, a bit older than me. Paulina Pavlik. High cheekbones, almond-shaped eyes, great smile. Completely stunning to look at if you want the truth. It takes me several more hours, but eventually I've tracked the shell company that owns Paulina's gallery back to one parent company called Lavit. I had to pass through 4 other entities to reach it, and I still can't be sure it's the right connection, but it feels that way. Just enough of the names, bank details, and fake addresses meshed together. Next, I dig up whatever I can on the directors of Lavit. There are 3. One is dead, and I mean super dead, like since 1963. His records come up on the Serbian state registry. Not uncommon for criminals like Gregory to use dead men's identities to set up untraceable companies, but it takes the wind out of my sails a bit. If they're all dead, I've got nothing to track and no one to find. I try the next one, this time a female name, Katarina Volem, Serbian as well, but I can't find that she's bit the dust. What I do dig up is a Facebook page, but the girl on it is in her 20s, posing with sunglasses and a cigarette. Not likely to be her, but I keep it on ice, just in case, and move on to the last one. That takes longer, but leads somewhere unexpected. This guy is 53, Russian, and a businessman, but his name, along with young Katerina's, also turns up somewhere that feels like it must mean something. He and Katerina are on the board of directors of a super high-end private clinic just outside Moscow. The website is only in Russian and as slick as anything. Pictures of happy middle-aged men and women pushing buggies and babies being cuddled by blonde nurses. It looks like a bizarre advert for designer kids, which makes me think, where do those babies come from? I log out of everything and take my laptop down to the safe in the basement, securing it inside with a cable lock. Then I grab a jacket and head out. Since my access to Athena has been revoked, I have to wait for Thomas to come and let me in. As usual, he looks immaculate, and the barest hint of cologne creates a fresh fragrance around him, even this late in the workday. "This had better be good, Jessie," he says. "It's exceptional," I reply. Lee's on her way in. She's finishing a call with China. I nod, happy that Lee's agreed to see me. I'm just a bit proud of the new connections I've figured out, and deep down I'm hoping that Lee will be impressed enough to wonder if she and the others have been too quick to fire me. Politely, Thomas lets me out of the elevator first, but then briskly passes me, leading us into Lee's office. Lee has just gotten there herself. She shrugs off her suit jacket and drapes it on a padded hanger behind the door. Then she settles in behind her desk and nods at me to sit down. Swiftly, I summarize what I found out about Lavit, the company that owns the gallery run by Gregory's daughter. "Paulina Pavlik is squeaky clean," Thomas says. "We've checked her thoroughly. She graduated a year early from a top boarding school here in the UK, and she's a photography nut, hence the gallery. Daddy can afford to give her whatever she wants." That interests me. Someone else who graduated early from school. It's not easy being noticeably younger than your classmates. It leaves you with a superiority complex in one way, but mostly you feel left behind while everyone else is friends and looks at you like you're a freak. Of course, I don't bother communicating any of this to Thomas or Lee. Anyway, Paulina isn't my main concern here. Paulina aside, the same company, Lavit, is connected to the Victory Clinic outside Moscow. Connected how? Lee asks. Two of Lavit's company directors are on the board of the Victory, I explain. Lee flicks a frown at Thomas. Did we know this? He hesitates, hating that he and the others might have missed something, then shakes his head. This is exactly what I was worried about. If they hadn't picked this up, could they have missed other stuff? And why should we be concerned about this Victory Clinic? Is Lee's question. I pull out some pages that I printed off the website and slide them over the desk toward her. It's like some scary designer baby factory, I continue, eager to press the advantage. I think Gregory's up to something new. I think he's using these girls he traffics to supply this clinic with harvested eggs. Have you any evidence, or is it pure conjecture? Asked Thomas. Pure conjecture? Who actually talks like that? Meanwhile, Lee looks at the pages, then at me, thinking. Even if it is true, and this is not much in the way of hard proof, it doesn't change anything we're doing, Lee says at last. Whatever is endgame, our plan is still to stop Gregory. But if Alex prosecutes him for the wrong crimes, he could walk free. Lee interrupts me. You don't work for Athena anymore. Thanks for mentioning that. I'd almost forgotten, as I sit here like a schoolgirl trying to get out of detention. I'm trying to help, I say. Where did you get all of this? It doesn't matter. I try to move on before it crosses her mind that I might have hacked the Athena servers. What matters is that I can help with this mission. But Lee holds up a hand. Her cheeks are flushed with anger. Jessie, you took a man's life without cause and put us all in danger. Haven't you ever made a mistake? I sound petulant, even to myself. Everybody does. It's what you do afterward that counts. I meet her gaze, but keep silent, for once. I want to tell her that I know I did something wrong, and that I'm trying to make it right, but I can't find my voice under her glare. Her eyes stay on mine. Thomas will see you out, she says. I don't need an alarm to wake up the next morning, because I've been sleepless over Ahmed and my meeting with Lee. As I toss and turn, I wonder if people like Ahmed or Gregory Pavlik ever lose sleep over the innocent people they kill. What's the point if all we do is stop them for a bit till they make a new plan and rise again, stronger than before? Taking a life is no joke, but haven't I saved many more innocent lives with that one bullet? Maybe the whole Athena ethos, trying to do the right thing, is just tying our hands, putting us at a disadvantage against men who have no ethics or morality. I've also been thinking through the Gregory Lavit victory thing all night, and by 5 a.m., I give up trying to sleep and get back on my computer. Flicking idly through the society pages of Serbian news sites, I discover that Paulina broke off an engagement with some eligible young guy last year after her affair with another girl. Judging by the press response, it caused quite a stir in the local gossip columns. I look at Gregory's daughter on the screen, and Paulina Pavlik's eyes smile back at me, beautiful and unreadable. While being enigmatic is not enough of a reason for me to suspect Paulina of anything, the fact that her gallery is owned by Lovett and that Lovett connects to Victory still bothers me. I keep digging, and what I find, by piecing together photos and posts from Paulina's social media accounts and cross-referencing them with the flights taken by Gregory's private plane, which Athena has tracked for a while, is that Paulina has visited Moscow twice in the past 4 months. Could she have been visiting the Victory Clinic? If so, why? She's young, not likely to want a baby or to need treatment if she does. I sit back in my chair to think. When two unlikely things collide just once, it's probably coincidence. But when you have a shell company taking big payments with the same company directors as this dodgy Russian clinic, and the daughter of a notorious criminal linked to it, if Paulina is dirty, maybe she has a copy of Gregory's files on the local politicians, and that would save throwing Kit and Caitlin into a dangerous situation. I run through it all one more time and consider trying Lee again, but she dismissed me without much ceremony, and what I have here is still not enough to change Athena's course. And yet, it doesn't feel right to ignore all these new developments. One of those threads could lead to something that would adjust the mission. Someone should be investigating this stuff. It's 7:45, and behind the massive tower that holds Chen Technologies, I wait outside on the street, sipping a double espresso that I've picked up from the Italian cafe around the corner. My eyes are on the back alleyway, through which I used to be able to enter the building. Adrenaline and caffeine make me feel sharp as I wait for my mark to show up. I take a couple of deep breaths that carry the tangy fumes of city traffic and the smell of coffee. When Amber appears at the top of the street, I hang back in the shadows. She wears a blue skirt, a delicate shirt, and a summer jacket. The ends of Amber's short, spiky dark hair are streaked with yellow, as if she's dipped them in gold leaf, and her skin glows a pale coffee color in the early sunlight. Amber was top of her class at Imperial College, or somewhere exceptional, took a summer job at Lee's company after she graduated, and never left. Lee looks after her. Not in that nurturing, huggy way that Peggy does with Caitlin, but with fierce, tough love. Maybe when she gets home, Lee throws on sweatpants and becomes a softer personality, but I doubt it. Amber uses her fingerprint to open up, and I'm right there, before the metal gate slams behind her. She jumps as I touch her shoulder, then takes a breath of relief as she turns and sees me. As usual, there are no pleasantries. Lurking in alleyways? You must be up to no good. I was just having a coffee, I say, and enjoying the beauty of the day. My eyes meet Amber's, and she looks away, a half smile on her face. Then she remembers I don't work here anymore. What do you want? She asks. They gave me happy pills a month ago, and I left them behind before my last job, in my locker. You're not depressed, Amber responds. It is a statement. No hint of a question about it. Most of Amber's speech is like this, direct declarations in a crisp upper-class accent. She looks like a South Asian artist, and she sounds like Mary Poppins. How do you know? I ask. I don't. I just wonder if it's your personality that makes people think that. It actually makes me want to smile, that assessment, but I stifle it, because Amber hasn't moved any farther inside, and I feel like she's blocking me. Jessie, I can't let you in here, she says. We'll send you your things by the end of the week. I nod, a picture of understanding, and then I look away from her, like I'm suddenly emotional and need to get a grip. It's been a tough time, to be honest, I say, keeping my voice low. I don't care about the clothes and stuff, but the pills, I think I might need them sooner than later. When I look back at her, Amber's eyes hold genuine concern, which makes me feel crap about pulling this kind of emotional drama. But then that's what Athena has trained us to do, lie to almost everyone, at all times, about who we really are. It just feels a bit harder with someone you like, I suppose. I can see Amber is wavering, and I try to push her over the line. 2 minutes, and I'll be out of your hair. Forever, probably. That last bit popped into my head from nowhere, but we both realized suddenly that it's most likely true. And we would miss each other. She likes me and I like her. I can't describe it. We're not friends, not really, but we get each other. She starts walking and indicates I should follow. Once we're in the confined space of the elevator, I lean against the side wall to give Amber enough room, while the space fills up with the perfume that she always wears, floral and honeyed. Enjoying your newfound freedom? She asks. Adore it, I say. I'm taking up Pilates and origami. Amber smiles, and as the elevator doors open, I stick close behind her as she flicks on lights from an app on her phone, straightens a vase of flowers, and drops her bag onto her desk. Then she turns at last and looks at me properly. Her gaze is intense, and I step back a bit. You do look terrible, she frowns. Tired. Well, you look great, I tell her, which is true. Amber smiles, though I can see she's trying not to. She turns away and picks up a record. When I say record, I mean one of those big round pieces of black vinyl that play music. Amber, the technology worshiper, is also a vinyl addict. She has an entire wall of them right here in her tech cave. What she really loves is old music, of all kinds. Now and then she'll listen to stuff from this century, but nothing much past 2010, which means that Kit is also one of her heroes. Not that she would admit to it openly, in case it makes her seem less than professional. I watch her as she slips her chosen record out of its sleeve and places it gently onto the turntable of her prized record player. Then she actually wipes it clean with a little microfiber cloth that she keeps just for that purpose, and only then does she actually let the thing play. It's Dinah Washington singing "What a Difference a Day Makes." Dinah could be right about that. Amber turns back to me. What are you smirking at? She demands. I wipe the expression from my face and shake my head. Nothing. Irritated, Amber turns and walks behind a long metal counter that separates us from the wall where the box lockers for each agent are kept. She loves that counter. She uses it as an unofficial line beyond which we agents must not cross. She likes to stand behind it, handing out weapons and gadgetry as if serving us on a shop floor. She pulls a slim card key from her left jacket pocket and slips it into one of the lockers. My locker. The chamber pops open and the box slides out. Casually, as if I can hardly be bothered to look, I move behind the counter to stand next to Amber. We both look down at the contents of the box. Inside it is everything that I want, nestled into carefully organized compartments. Guns, passports, my stealth phone, earpiece communication devices as thin as slips of silver foil. No antidepressants in here. Amber's voice interrupts my thoughts. Funnily enough. I whip my fingers clear of the edge of the box just as Amber slams it shut. Good reflexes, she says dryly. Reactions, I say. Reflexes are involuntary. But she turns away, removing the key card and slipping it into her pocket. I turn to her, just a little closer than I need to be. Actually, I say, as if recalling, I think I left them in my clothes locker. Amber's eyes flick up to another door at the end of the tech cave. Beyond that door is a state-of-the-art gym, health monitoring equipment, showers, and lockers where we keep our body armor, combat trousers, boots, and other work gear, as well as changes of our own clothes. Amber hesitates. Just to encourage her, I move far away from the counter and her precious lockers and throw myself into a curved white chair. I pull out my phone and start playing a game, as if I'm waiting, bored. Amber turns and touches a series of numbers on an alarm panel, deftly, and without letting me catch a glimpse of them. Great. With a yawn, I kick off my shoes, waiting while she heads towards the door to the lockers. I'll have a look, she says. Don't move. I just alarmed the floor by the boxes. You have trust issues. Only with some people. I smile and continue to look at my phone, listening to the suction sound of the door being released, then to Amber's steps and the closing of the door behind her. The slam is still echoing in the room when I'm up. Since I need to avoid the floor, I jump lightly onto Amber's much-loved countertop in my socks, pulling off the belt from my jeans. My heart is pounding, but it feeds my system the right amount of adrenaline to get the job done. I toss the end of my belt over the exposed ventilation pipes that run across the ceiling between the counter and the lock boxes. The buckle sticks between the pipes. Wrapping the other end of the belt around my wrist, I leap and grasp hold of the top of the lockers with my other hand. Not bad. though Hala, the parkour champion of the world, could doubtless do much better. Having got this far, I paused to listen for Amber, but it's only been 30 seconds, and there's no sound except for my own ragged breathing. I inhaled deeply to slow it, then improved my grip on the cool metal and leaned forward until I'm almost upside down. In my other hand is the key card that I just picked from Amber's jacket pocket. I reach down to insert the card into my own locker. It slips open smoothly, and I move fast, picking out comms units, the phone, 2 passports, and a sealed bag with some ID cards. My hand hesitates over a gun before I decide to leave it. "You have a ton of rubbish in here." Amber's voice issuing from the ceiling speaker right next to my ear startles the hell out of me, enough that I lose my grip on one of the passports. I see it slip toward the alarmed floor. I stretch to bat it upward, and somehow manage to grasp the edge of it before it can fall. Panting with the effort, I look back at the speaker. Of course, Amber would be on the intercom. There are cameras recording my every move as well. I can even see myself in the feeds lined up on Amber's computer screen. But by the time she thinks to wind back and check them, I'll be long gone. "Try the leather jacket," I call back, and there's a sound of acknowledgement in return, a noise that suggests Amber has found the pills. Swiftly, I pick out my last requirement, a small plastic bag containing a single blue pill. Then I slam the locker shut, lever myself upward, and jump back across to the counter. I nearly slip over the other side of it in my rush to make it back before Amber does, for she must be nearly at the door by now. I retrieve the belt off the pipework and jump down from the counter just as the door handle moves. There's no time to sit down without looking like I was just in motion, so instead I stand there, scratching my arm and pretending to watch the daft aquarium screensaver on one of the computers on the desk. Amber walks briskly over to me, holding out a bottle of pills in one hand. "You never even opened them," she says. "I don't like drugs." I smile, but Amber is looking at me closely now, like she suspects something. I swallow, stressed, as she keeps staring. But then her hand comes up to touch my forehead gently. Her palm feels cool against my warm skin, and we're so close that I feel her breath soft on my face for a moment. Close enough that I can slip the key card back into her pocket unnoticed. "You're sweating," Amber says, her voice full of concern. I look at her, leaving aside the teasing, the flirting, the jokes between us. Amber's a kind person. A grain of guilt sticks in my throat for a moment. "I must be coming down with something," I say. "Thanks for these." I hold up the pills and slip on my jacket. To my surprise, Amber reaches out and grasps me in a hug, which is kind of awkward, because I wasn't expecting it. I lean in to hug her back, and then she pulls away briskly. "Take care of yourself, Jessie," she says. My guilt at what I've done rises so fast that I can't even wish her the same. I just nod and give her a quick smile, and she walks me back to the elevator. As soon as the doors close on me, the remorse seeps away, and a sense of opportunity replaces it. I breathe more easily as the lift moves back down, releasing me to the morning air and to freedom. The end of Chapter 4. Hope you enjoyed.